Yeah, the live is on. Let's start. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, you can present the screen, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll present my screen.
Okay, initially, good afternoon to one and all. We are welcome to this day 2 of virtual training session for virtual lab. I once again welcome our resource person, Dr. Doreen, madam, over here. Thank you, ma'am. It was really wonderful session day 1. Everyone learned new things, and we are hoping for the continuation of it today. And I also welcome all the participants gathered over here, and there are many to join yet. I welcome you all to this wonderful session of our virtual lab and request to the participants. The feedback form will be aired at the end of the sessions in the YouTube live chat comment, and you can fill it off and will be provided with the certificates according to the feedback. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mohammed sir. So I would like to welcome all the participants from MEA Engineering College, Kerala, and different participants from different destinations of the world who have joined through the YouTube channel. So hope this is a continuation of a session what we had yesterday. We had we introduced about VLabs. Okay, the virtual lab, the what does it need, what are the types of it, right? Can one of you put it on the chat session? We saw 3 types of virtual lab. Let me check it out. How many of you are doing it? What are the 3 types of labs we saw? Virtual lab. YouTube people, you can put it on to your live chat. And Google Meet viewers, you can respond it on, yes. These are the departments. I'm asking what are the types of virtual lab generally we have? The types of virtual labs that we have. Yes, definitely. Yesterday we saw about computer science, ECE, and mechanical. What basically when you come into virtual lab, we should be very clear about what is the types, what are the different types of virtual lab we saw yesterday. Anybody remembers it? Just wait for 1 or 2 minutes for you to recap and answer. YouTube viewers, you can give your responses in your live chat. Basically, we saw yesterday about the basic 3 on the skeleton virtual lab. There are 3 types. One is the simulator based. That is what, yes, thank you, Muhammad Fadil sir. Okay, we saw about, yes, simulation based. How do we model it? It's not real, but we simulate it. The best example, we are conducting a webinar, right? I'm not there physically with you. You're not there physically with me, but virtually we're able to do it. Simulating it is modeling based lab. And the next is measurement based. We need to feed in the data. For example, do you remember yesterday we saw about the CAD lab for the mechanical department? We need to take the data, we need to feed in the data according to the data measurement mix. And the third is the highest level of virtual lab. Say, for example, some institution, if you take a cloud computing, okay, where they have the server resources available, you go and remotely trigger the application to run. One example, what is the space Gmail needs? Okay, if you how much is the space on the Google Drive that Google gives? What is the space Google gives? Anybody? When you open up your Gmail, what is the size of Google Drive? 15 GB. Yes, exactly. Right. So when you go into your Google Drive, it gives only 15 GB. Do you own the 15 GB for the resources? Do you have the servers for the resources? No. Gmail is there. Okay, it provides 15 GB for a normal G Suite user. And for example, if you are having a Google Suite for education or Google Suite for enterprise, all right, then there is no much of limitations on your Google Drive. We don't own a server for our mail. All right, we don't own our server for a mail. Rather, from here, I remotely trigger when I give my username and password, if it is correct, it goes to a remote place. All right, it triggers the application. If both are matching, then my Gmail opens. Okay, that is also a kind, it's virtually present somewhere. I don't know whether I have time. Otherwise, maybe at the end, if I have time, I'll show you how Google's data center work. Okay, even some videos are there available in my YouTube channel. You can also see to it. Okay, how enormous is Google a data center? How enormous is Facebook data center? We are all using the application virtually. We don't know how much effort they have designed to develop the algorithm to categorize a file. Whenever we load a photos or whatever it is, anytime, any data that we have in a Gmail, any time of a need, we want to trigger the application and we want to see to it. All right, so that this is a real-time application. And supposingly, if your institution is having a licensed software, and if your institution is giving a username and password to the students, so students right from home can be connected to the lab through the internet, and they can pass in the parameters. Once the parameters are given in, then all right, then the application there will start running. All right, then it will be done, and once it is done, the students will be able to get the measurements right from their home. That is a remote triggered labs. Okay, remote triggered labs. So these are the skeleton basic 3 labs. Yesterday we saw about for computer science for data structures, and then you remember we saw about bubble sort, and then the different applications for digital lab. Then we saw how to use an AND gate, similarly for different gates. And for mechanical department, we saw about image processing. Okay, how do you segment an image? Okay, how do you segment an image? All these are basically simulator based. The AutoCAD, where we are able to feed, it's mostly it is simulator, but we need to feed in the data to get it right. So now I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, yesterday we had it, right? How many of you tried some algorithms that were there in VLabs? Yes, no? If your answer is yes, can you tell me what are the experiments you tried to explore? It could be the same experiments, whatever you have tried, or it could be new. Let me get your responses, please. Yes, thank you. Densely Susay Anthony, ma'am. Yes. Can you respond me whether you tried using vlab.co.in? Have you tried to explore some application? Yes or no? If your answer is yes, can you share it on the chat box in Google Meet or in the YouTube live chat? What is the experiment you try to explore or you try to investigate? Okay, Muhammad Musharraf sir, you got into civil engineering. Okay, that's great to know. Others, please. Yes. A cat. Thank you, Shamin. Yes. So some of you have tried and some of you have not tried. Maybe you're busy. But still, I wish you all to try today according to departments or any other departments. All right. So Esther, we started our presentation with VLabs. Okay. Okay. The objectives and the types of VLabs, okay, modulation based, measurement based, and remotely triggered. When the scalability is less, then we go for modeling. When the scalability is more, then we go for remote triggered, right? So a lot of colleges are using VLabs, and they are of good use. Something is better than nothing. And even some institutions, right, if they weren't able to implement it, what the professors are doing is that the faculties are going to the institution. Okay, they are making a video of how the experiment is done. Okay, step by step. I hope most of you would have seen YouTube videos for recipes for cooking, basically. Okay, many of you. I always say during this pandemic time, YouTube videos has become the best teacher for people, right? Any doubts, they go just into YouTube and they try to explore. Either it could be cooking or cleaning or making something, right? Something new. All right, most of us, this pandemic had made a internet traffic of YouTube heavy. Okay, yes, so like that many institutions are doing so. Yes, you can take a video, but they can only understand the concepts, but they cannot have their hands in, and they'll not be able to explore. Now moving on to the virtual lab. Okay, we lab, and also I'll show you some other labs available. Right, yesterday there were some requests about physics, chemistry, and biology, biotechnology. Let me try according to the time. Let me try. So yesterday we tried about ECE, okay, computer science engineering, electrical engineering. Okay, sorry, these two, and mechanical. Today we'll move on to electrical engineering. Right. So in electrical engineering, there are different labs. Okay, there are different labs. Okay, so first I'm going to take an experiment called as a parametric. Okay, in virtual high voltage laboratory. Okay, so in my EEE in in electrical engineering lab, I'm checking this lab called as virtual high voltage lab. Okay, in that lab, I'm taking an experiment called as parametric analysis of impulse current waveform. Okay, so this is the theory of it. Okay, so what is impulse current generation? Because you know electrical engineering, it's basically with currents. Okay, so how the generation of current waveforms of high magnitude, find applications to work on with it. It has got its research in these areas. All right, and then what is the theory behind it? So current, okay, the current, what is the formula? All right, and then how the circuits are being getting connected. Okay, this is one particular application, it's one particular experiment. So referring to the waveform, the peak value is taken as 100% value. So in the graph, when it is generated, we'll be getting what is the peak value. All right, and then, and what is objective? Exponential impulsive current test for verification of current rating. Okay, and current for determination of residual voltage. And then there is a simulator. This is a simulator that we'll be working on, which is called as Icg Simulator. Okay, which is called as Icg Simulator. So this is the instruction. Okay, this is a equivalent circuit diagram. You take EC students and EEE students, they should be versatile in writing their own circuit diagram. Even if from the circuit diagram, they should be able to build up the circuits, or if the circuit is given, they should be able to generate their own circuit diagram. So from the current supply, there is the earthing device. All right, 2 is the earthing device, you could see it here, and capacitors with damping resistors. All right, where are the capacitors? Here they are, it is in series. Okay, capacitors and damping resistors, firing sphere gap here, and then they have their reactor coil. Okay, and then the protective sphere gap, and 7, it takes the test specimens. So in order for the students, okay, to explore about this impulse current generator waveform, there are RF, RL, and LF. First, when you open the controller, you can select. Okay, and the voltage is current charging voltage is 50. It is given as default capacitors value, and if you want to change the resistor, then you could change it. Okay, what is the R1 value that you want to give? You can give, the students can change these values also. And first step, you have to select. The first step, you need to select which controller you want to work. I'll try working with RF, and after I complete it, I want the participants to try the same experiment with the different parameters. All right. And then the first step, I have to click start the experiment. So I'm doing my initialization to start my experiment. Once I do it, the next step, I need to ground the switch. Okay, I'm grounding the switch. And then once it is there, if you see in the circuit, you could have seen capacitors connected. So capacitors, I need to charge. So when I give, can you see here? The capacitor, it's all simulators, right? It's getting charged. So the capacitors are charged and then it is turned to green. And now I'm going to start the generator. So once the generator, can you see the movements here? Yes, it has been done. And with the values, whatever I've given, the graph has been generated. Can you see? So I could take the peak value here. Here is the peak value. All right, I can save the graph. The next time again, yeah, it comes in a PNG file and students can use it for the records. Once it is downloaded, I'll open it and show. So the RF value, see what value I had given. According to the value, the graph has been generated. Now, I wish the participants to try the other parameters. RF I tried and I showed to you. All right, you can try for other parameters. You can increase the resistance, and it's the same thing. First start the experiment, then ground the switch, so the switch is grounded. Then you need to charge the capacitors so that the generator will be able to generate the current. Once the charging is done, then you can trigger the generator. Then you can see there is an impulse here. Yeah, it has been generated, and I get the graph. Okay, let me wait for a few minutes. I want the participants both on Google Meet and the YouTube to try for this particular experiment. Go to vlab.co.in, click on electrical engineering. All right, when you click on electrical engineering, I want you to select a virtual high voltage lab. Okay, select virtual high voltage lab. Okay, after you select this lab, click on the list of experiments and then select the second experiment, parametric analysis of impulsive voltage waveform. And then you can directly go into the simulator. Then you get this Icg Simulator. Kindly try it out and let me know whether you're able to work. It could look simple. Yes, it is simple, but rather when you try to work on with that, then you'll be able to explore, or if you find any difficulties, you can share it with me. Are you trying? Yes. So yesterday we saw about the computer science labs, data structures, image processing, and little of cryptography and network security. And in EC department, we took about digital electronics lab. All right. And then in mechanical, we took an example of a particular experiments in AutoCAD lab. This today's webinar from yesterday and today, we focus more on each department and at least one particular experiment in it. Don't worry, you are not an electrical engineer, but everybody can work. Okay, I always say nobody has gone for a workshop to learn how to use Facebook or how to use WhatsApp. It's most on self-learning based. When virtual labs are mostly self-learning based, maybe you need some pathway to know that is where I'm here to help you out for a little knowledge. What do I have? Anybody tried it out? You can type yes, you tried, you were able to get the graph. Only thing you should need a device with internet. That's it. Yes, thank you, Musharraf sir. You tried it. Others, are you trying? Are you all with me? Yes, no? If you're trying it, type you're trying. Yes, you have tried it, Shameen. Thank you for Dil, sir. Okay, others, keep trying it. So trying, it's just taking 1 or 2 minutes for you to try it. Okay, so here you'll be able to understand more well. You're not trying. Okay, some of you may be busy. No problem. Okay, so even in electrical engineering, they have got different sensors lab. So this sensor lab is for biotechnology. What is the type of speed you want? Then you can start the rotation. You can see how it, at that speed, how it is getting rotated. All right, how many seconds? Yeah, you're trying, Sanjay Sharma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is the level 1 calibration. So how many seconds it takes, you can see here how many seconds it takes. It is for the biosensor lab. Okay. Once it is done, yes, then you can start with your level 2. So what is the age to see the heartbeat range? Maybe 6 to 12. Okay. Heartbeat in this group are between 75 to 110. So once the age is increased, and then it's 60 to 100. So level 3. So what, any kind of error? So drag the LED to read the errors. All right. So this is how the students will be going from each level, and if they want to go to the previous level, also they can click this and go to the previous level. This is a simple example for the biosensor, simulating the performance of biosensors. So before doing this, the student should know what is a diode, what is an LED. All right, the light spectrums, right? The effects of various factors that affects the what is a pulse rate. So that is what you see, right? For the children, what would be the pulse rate? For the adults, for the babies. All right. So this is how it's a simulating environment which will enable the children, the students to explore more about the biosensors. All right. Anybody has got any results for this experiment? Impulse, the parametric analysis of impulse current generator waveform. Yes, no, no, yes. Anybody tried? Okay. Some of you are trying, some of you aren't. All right. So is it clear till now? Whatever we have seen 2 experiments in electrical engineering. Is it clear, yes or no? I want some responses from your side, please. Yes, no, no, yes. Oh, still you're trying it. Sanjay sir. Sanjay sir, you're still on it. Is there anybody you have got any doubts? Okay. Is there a provision for students to keep the digital records? Yes, as and when they simulate it, they can take the screenshots of the experiments, and they can have on a Word file. How do they do it? Teach how when they change the variables, it could be taken as a record. All right. So anybody's trying? Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Sanjay, sir. You're able to, yeah, Prajit, you're clear. Thank you. Okay, so we will move on to the next experiment. All right. So we'll move on to the physical science. Okay, there is another lab called like V Labs and other lab, Proxy Lab. How many of you have heard this word Proxy Lab? Yes or no? Kindly be quick. Have you tried exploring Proxy Labs? Yes, no, no, yes. Hello, you're able to hear me? No. Okay. Thank you. So here, this is the Proxy Lab. Basically, you can use it for biology, chemistry. These are the free equipments. How do you do? How do you do the experiment on titrations, right? And physics. Okay, densely, ma'am, you've already known about it. Thank you so much. Say, for example, if you want to do this experiment of free fall, like now, like Muhammad sir asked, how the students can make the records. Okay, this is one such experiment. All right. Yes. Okay, so how do you find the measurements? Okay, do you remember J1 yesterday I told you about these simulators are developed using the technology called as augmented reality or virtual reality, which is not, yeah, you've tried it. Olu ma'am, nice, nice, nice to hear from you. All right, so here the experiment is set up. The student should trigger it, then according to the experiment will be measured and the graph will be generated. Okay, and this Proxy Lab could be used, maybe some of you from schools or also seeing it, it could be useful for you. Okay, so but it takes time to load because the software is little heavy, so it takes time for us to load. Maybe one or two I'll be able to show it to you. In B labs, particularly, most of them you will be able to you will be able to see look through this. And for some simulators, the nodal centers, they will have some means of authentication. Okay, I'll upload a biotechnology. Okay, the Bioreactor Modeling Lab. Okay, I'll see whether it has got loaded. Because it's little big, the software, it takes little time. So see, some labs you need to do for a sign up. Okay, so for that example only I took this one. It is developed by Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham University. Okay, just checking. Yeah, now it's ready. See, it is made with Unity. Unity is the software. When I was working for an engineering college, right, during my working experience, now I'm mostly into research, and development, right? At that time, one of my students, so I gave them an idea, because every time students will come and give a complaint to me, ma'am, being an HOD, it's very difficult to find you, and we waste a lot of time to figure it out where you are. So for that particular students, I gave an idea through their interest also. So they used like Unity, they used software, okay, to develop a product. So if that application is on your mobile, using the camera, the students will come out and just take my name board scan, and it will tell me, it will take the latitude and longitude of my place. So before I go on for an HOD meeting or meeting with parents or any other work for classes, I will just type in my location where I am, because that application runs in my thing also. I'll also type what is the time, so when students come in, they could figure it out. So that application will check that ma'am is on a meeting and she'll be back at this time. So approximate time the students can come and find it out. So this is one of the application that we have done. Okay, so this is the example of Proxy Labs. Okay, zoom in, zoom out, how to interact. Okay, so you can also record a result. You can also show the result table. Okay, in this experiment, you are going to basically find the Earth gravitational acceleration constant using an object in a free fall. So this is objective. So we are telling the students what are they going to do. Generally, we do it when we take our students to the lab. We will tell to the students what we are going to do. All right. Okay, now the time is set up. Can you see there is a ball? I can keep at what centimeter I need to have, maybe, and then I start. The ball falls down. The timing is taken. Now, so adjust the distance between the ball and to say what is the step the student should do, and then press the red on to release. It starts. Okay, now I have to. Okay. These are the steps. I'm recording the data, and now I'm adjusting it to the next level, and I'll press the red button. The ball falls down, and then I have to record the data. So once I record the data, it is getting into the Excel file. I'll now move it to a lower level. The ball falls down, then I record the data. Then the ball has been reset. Again, that's the final. The ball falls down. I get the experimental results. I had recorded the data. Okay, then I can show the table. So first I had in the centimeter, what is the time taken for the ball to fall? And the next is 57.3. What is the time taken? So I can easily say when the distance increases, the time also is increasing. So this is how you can enable the students to do projects, the labs. Okay, and it could be recorded in Excel. And also they give this application, they give a PDF. Okay, they give a PDF or an animated guide. How is the setting and what is the exercises, what the students. So it will evaluate in the free fall whether an object falls with constant speed or with constant acceleration or no acceleration, or moves with an average speed. So this is one example of Proxylabs. Okay, I'll give 1 or 2 minutes. Can you go to proxylabs.com? The website is proxylabs.com. labs.com. It's an interactive virtual lab. This application is developed using Unity. You did it. Thank you, Chandra Kala ma'am. Thank you, Musharraf sir. And if you're trying it, you can just type you're trying. So go to Proxy Labs. Okay, anybody's trying? Proxy Labs. Yes, no, no, yes. I'm initializing it for another chemistry walk. Okay, though you're not trying it, some of you are trying it, will be trying it. Thank you, Shamin. That's a good spirit. So try it, try it. So learning is always more important. Okay, learning. It's not studying, it's learning. Okay, so there's a major difference between learning and studying. Okay, learning is studying is, even though some professors are here, okay, they are trying it. Prajit, a good spirit, Prajit, right? So when you keep trying it, doing these experiments virtually, you are learning it, right? Thank you, Sultana. Just getting some time to get loaded. Um, okay. So how do they do? Yeah, feedback link. They'll be posting it. Musharraf sir will be posting it. Do not worry until it is getting loaded. Yeah, Proxy Labs, but little difficulty is that it takes long time to load, but it's a beautiful one. So yesterday, some of them asked me, okay, how to do for biological lab or okay, biomedicine, okay, biomedical. So this is a similar simulation for biology or microbiology. The website is labster.com. Okay, the labster.com. What is the students, whether they are engineering, then you can select for engineering. Okay, and for different things. For since I selected biology, it is coming all for biology. If it choose for engineering, this is another simulation tools, silo design, wastewater management. All right. So if I click it on, how it has been done, identifying the different parts. How for some it will be like a video. Okay, how it will be like a video, how it has been done. With regard to the environmental. Okay. So all courses, if you want to check, you can check what are the experiments available. Let me check. Yeah, this has come. This is the chemistry one. How do you do your titration? The soda that contains the carbonic or citric acids. So the sodium hydroxide reacts with the citric acid and it amines the citric acid, okay? And the concentration in the soda beverage by titrating with sodium hydroxide in the presence of phenolphthalein. So they give you the objectives. So what each time I should do will be given, okay? And the procedure will be given. First, we will rinse the burette with two substances before starting. So I need to take this solution and I need to clean the burette. So the burette will be cleaned. So after I clean it, I take the beaker and keep. Okay. Clean the burette by rinsing with distilled water and discard the water, and then rinse with sodium hydroxide. So I need to rinse with sodium hydroxide. So to use sodium hydroxide, I need to keep the funnel, then take the sodium hydroxide. So first I clean with distilled water, cap it up. Okay, now I can throw it, and then it is done. Now fill the burette with sodium hydroxide and record the reading. Now again, I want to fill it with the fill the burette with sodium hydroxide. Okay, and then that is done. So I should give how much ml? Maybe 10 ml. Okay, I can define that ml. Then we should use the soda. Soda is taken. So accordingly, so they're asking to take 25 ml. So if and transfer it into the conical, I've taken 10. I'm transferring it into the conical funnel. So they give each steps how to do it using the pipette. All right. We must add two or drop or two of the substance to the solution. So adding the solution, we must add a substance to the solution and shake it. So likewise, each steps will be given, and accordingly, when the steps are given, it turns pink. So It's shaking. And we need to record the endpoints. Okay, now it has been done. So your reading is 14. So can you see? So this is so powerful. You need to go to a lab experiment to do the titration. So these types of tools are providing a wide spectrum of how do you do your titration. I don't know, some of you are professors seeing it. Do you remember how do you do your titration in a 12th standard and other sections, right? So this, like Labster, is also another application. Okay, it's a simulation tool and which will enable you to go step by step to work on with the experiments on simulation tools. All right, and so we have seen about different labs, the Proxy Labs. I showed you one example in physics and chemistry. There is also some experiments in biology. You can see to it. I will be, yeah, we have 10 more minutes to go. Okay, do not worry, participants. You will definitely get your feedback link. Okay, so try to be for a while. So now I'm going to show you about CK Interactive. Is that anybody who have used the CK Interactives application? So which one? It's also a type of a virtual lab. Okay, it's a type of virtual lab. Before it is getting loaded, and I'll show you what are the virtual labs used in the different universities. Okay, labsland.com if you want to take a screenshot, or if you want to, but this entire session will be available in my YouTube live, in my YouTube channel. So like Labsland, okay, Labsland is another virtual lab that is used in the universities, right? Do not worry, by 4 o'clock we will be completing it and you will be getting your feedbacks. Okay, so how they use real laboratories, remote laboratories. Okay, so you can also try the labs, how they are working on with that. So like FPGA labs, the Arduino, okay, the robotic labs, okay, the electronics lab, Archimedes principles. Okay, so this is used for in the universities. You need to just register upon it. If you find it is better, then the next app is labaids.com, and then lab in labinapps.com.resources. Okay, and so these are like B Labs is what we have explored more because it provides a lot of free courses. Okay, and this is for computing services for virtual labs. Okay, computing services, hence.cmu.edu. Some of them they provide it, it's free, and for some, then you need to pay for it. If you find it is useful, then you can connect it. Every application they give you a free version of it. If you explore it and if you like it, and same way pages.jh.edu, it's also a virtual lab for their institute. Some of them they have developed it and giving it like for drilling for oil, right? Okay, and this for robotic arm control. Okay, how this is to be done, how do you practice your experiments, and they've given a free and even a hard experiments. All right. Students and faculties can wait. MEA Engineering College has taken this effort to organize this webinar so that it will be useful for you. You will get your feedback links. It's like we write an exam, we wait for the result, we will definitely get our certificates. Same way is the webinars. Do not worry, definitely you'll get your feedback link and you will get your certificates. Do not worry, it has not been shared till now. All right. Okay, and like technology.ku.edu.in services, bu.edu, they are also providing virtual lab, and the next one, the pitt.edu. and ALTVR. These are different universities or different organizations that they provide virtual labs. For some, they're providing it free of cost. For some, if you want to make VLab to your class, please fill this form. So you fill it up. If there is some, you try working on with that. If you think, please wait, Surya. Feedback link will not be posted virtually. It will be in real time in your YouTube live. But kindly have patience. You will definitely get it. Do not worry. That's what I say. When you write an exam, we wait for the results and for the certificates. Rightly, when you attend the webinar, you will definitely get the feedback link. Okay, and you'll be given time. This is this is another way of art space VR. It's very beautiful. I worked on with it for some applications, and you can try using it. You can also develop on your own thing to how to interact with your students. It is having a mixed reality. All right, and then Proxy Labs, I told you, I showed you a demo for physics and chemistry and bacterial growth. Okay, and this bioreactor. Okay, this for biotechnology. Okay, biotechnology labs. Okay, biotechnology labs. For some they give animations also. How it really works on with that. Okay. It's blocked. I will allow. Then again, I will get it. Reload it. So simultaneous measurement of specific growth or death rate of organisms. So how it is done? It's an animation. So before experiments, you were trying to trigger in Proxy Labs. You were trying to trigger the things, and it was working here. Because this Shark Virtual Labs, they've done everything how it is to be done. Like I told you, right? Even like Musharraf sir said, you go to the lab, you do the experiments, and then do it. For computer science people, you have all of you have come into the online classes, so you can just share your screen, ask your students to do your lab experiments pattern with the programming and send it back. And also I advise faculty members, don't give one experiment generally for all the class. In a class we have students those are above average, average, and below average. So for one particular topic, when I was I always advise people to give like three kind of exercises for the same experiment. Okay, the questions, how we ask them to do it. Say for example, for a simple first level question will be answered by all. Even the below average students will find they will build up the confidence of doing it. Some students will have a kind of critical thinking, so when they try with the second level of questions, they'll be able to find it out how they could apply the knowledge that they have done. Okay, the third level of questions when you ask for your practical labs should be analyses. First is knowledge, what they do. Second is how do they apply. Third is analysis. Okay, if you take an algorithm, how do you compute your algorithm complexities? For example, computer science, because I belong to computer science. Same way you can also ask your when you give questions for a particular experiment. I advise the faculty members, don't give one experiment for all. Kindly find the bubble sort for these values. When it is computer science, you can change the input data sets. It's the same for other ECE, EEE, and other things. So like one thing is very simple, everybody will be able to do it. And next set of data sets will make the students, you give where they get an error, how they'll be able to rectify it, or where they have to apply some logics. This will create an interest towards the students to do their practical experiments. Okay, and I'll just check whether the CK 12 almost we have covered with VLabs. Yeah. So here, according to the subjects, okay. Basically, if some of you from schools or other people are watching it, this will be very good according to the subjects and what are the classes they want to do. they'll be able to do, and it's more kind of interactions. Okay, it is a kind of interactions that it will be using this. So I've just given you a list of, as we don't have, yeah, it's 4, and as we don't have much time, okay, so uh, ck12.org. Okay, this is all about other different sets. I've showed you the list. You can take the list whenever you're in free of time. You can go through it. Okay, you can go through it, and if you find it useful, yeah. If you take for science, if you have your physical sciences, even if you find it interesting for your children, then you can do it. Okay, if I want to take like Newton's law of motion, okay, Newton's law of motion. So if I want to teach about frictions, so beautiful it is. How do you introduce the concept of frictions? Kindly, Gopi Krishna, can you stop commenting, please? You will get the feedback link. So what is the force? How would resist? All right. Okay. So basically, we covered more with the virtual labs of vlab.cibo.in, and we've seen about for computer science, ECE, EEE, mechanical, and little on biotechnologies, right? And the other labs and I've given you the list. Okay, I've given you the list. What about the list that you need to see and explore for other virtual labs that is available around the world in different universities? Some of them, they give it as free cost to them, and others, they have some cost that is incurred with that. So I hope this, and then we saw about Proxy Labs, how it is being used, that is used using Unity. Thank you for joining. Over to Musharraf sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Doreen, ma'am, for joining with us. Thank you for your valuable time initially. I would like to hand over a token of love from our student branch side to our honorable resource person, Ms. Doreen, madam, Dr. Doreen, madam.
Thank you.
Request Mr. Fawad, could you please display it on screen?
I will stop presenting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today. And the feedback link will be displayed over here in the screen for all the participants. It's short and crispy. You can search it on and provide your feedback. We cannot post it on the chat box. I don't know, there is some technical issues or certain technical errors.
Okay.
And feedback link will be displayed by Mr. Fawad, and you can do it on. You will get ample of time to fill it up. Could you please display it, Fawad?
It is not able to paste it. So I'll copy and paste it.
Yeah, it's there in the chat box, ma'am.
Yeah. I'll just paste it onto the YouTube link. Sorry. Oops, it is another link. YouTube viewers, just wait for a minute. I'll copy the link. Just check it out whether you're getting it. The feedback link.
Yeah, it has been got.
Yeah. And I've also posted it on the screen too. So participants, we have got 71 participants. All right. Yeah, the feedback link works perfect, and it's very simple feedback. All right. Thank you for joining. Kindly subscribe to the channel if you like the session, like this video. And so further, whenever I come online, you'll be able to get your messages whenever I come online. And different series about data sciences, machine learning, deep learning technologies, and everything. I've been hosting it out a couple of, maybe I think 30 plus lectures I had given during this session, during this pandemic alone. Even before I was doing it, but during pandemic, more sessions I've addressed. If it is fine, if you find it useful, or if you find any of your friends or relatives, they need it useful, then kindly share the link to them, which will be of use for them. It's we are just sharing the knowledge, whatever we have. Okay, I'm just sharing what we have. So even these 2 day session, entire sessions are there available on the YouTube link. So many of you are show the list of VLab. Now I'll just show you the list, sir. Do not worry. I'll show you the list. I will share. This is my YouTube channel. So if you find it interesting, you can just get it, and it should be of use. I'll just show you. Like as Manoj sir has requested, if you want, you can take a screenshot or whatever it is. The list of institutions. Able to get it, sir? Manoj sir? Online.
Okay, ma'am. I
Okay.
think hope participants have been filling the feedback form.
Okay.
So
Yes.
we'll return soon.
Okay.
And thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again for joining with us with your valuable time. It was
Welcome.
quite more informative, and thank you one way from all over.
Thank you, Musharraf sir. Thank you for organizing this event on behalf of Computation Intelligence Research Foundation. So you can all see in my website, cirf.co.in, is the website of my institution. So we are opening for some internships. Okay, it's a free internship, and if you are strong in technology, any of your students are strong in technologies, they could apply for the internship. Or supposingly, if the students find it's a little difficult to learn technologies, we basically train the students on technology, and we provide them a hands-on session on training them. After that, the students, they build the projects on their own. If any of you are watching this YouTube live, we are starting our internship session this first week of October for students for 20-hour session. Okay, it's only for students, not for faculties, not for research scholars. It's only for students. Okay, any of your students who want to learn Python or data sciences using Python could apply from the institute, from our website, cirf.co.in. All right. So the applications are open, then it will start off. It's only for students, not for faculties. In addition, from CIRF, we give help for research scholars. We don't develop projects. We help them and guide them. We train them, and they develop projects on their own. All right. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for this opportunity given. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, YouTube participants. God bless.